One of the bigger differences between 2D drafting and BIM modeling, building information modeling, is layers. Typically in 2D drafting, a drafter is always consumed in calculating what kind of layer to put on their drawing. So layers are typically a named layer with a color, a line type, and typically the color is the most important part because the color translates to how the line is actually plotted. And so typically the user, the drafter, always needs to make sure that the layer's on the correct color so it comes out properly in the printing process. And if you're dealing with that, you only have a certain number of layers that you're dealing with because you only want about 8 or 10 colors in your plan, so you know how that's coming out. It's very simple. And with BIM modeling, you're not so concerned with actually layers because how an object prints is determined by plot styles. That's determined by the style or what layer it's on, regardless of color. And so, as an example of this, we'll just show if I want to add a wall here, what I would do is maybe draw I have a line here. I can extend this up, go all the way up to the node. And if I draw a line, I just draw it 4 inches and draw it back down. And okay, that's white, so I need to match that layer with that layer to get it in the correct layer. Do my drafting, get this blue line that's kind of thick that would print out screen to actually make my wall here. So that's a typical process where you need to stretch this line, you need to match it with that layer and get all that straightened out. In a modeling process, say I delete this wall here and actually want to draw that wall, I'll get into a view of actually modeling. And so what I would do here is I just select the wall that I want to draw, and then I just draw from one point to another. And when I draw, it cleans up, it puts the line where it needs to, puts the hatch where it needs to, and I didn't even have to consider what layer anything was on because this was automatically generated. This is the layer, and it was automatically generated from what we call a layer key. And if I take a look at that, of what a layer key is, a layer key, you use this, you'd probably set it up once, where wherever you're drawing a certain layer, it'll automatically generate the layer. And so we have any layer can be on any different color. Lots of colors. I can utilize 256 colors rather than kind of simple 10 or 8 type of colors in a set. So I have a lot more colorful plan. I know exactly what things are. I can use all sorts of colors instead of just generic 8. But I don't have to think about that because the layer key generates the layer. This handles the layer tools, but as a BIM modeler, I'm not concerned with layers as you would be in a 2D set.